Hi, now I'm going to explain the project Dow Jones, which I did for my for my online training at dezyre.com, and this is an open data set. Um, if in the GitHub, you can find all the information related to this project at this URL. So let me first show the data set. So if you go to dezyre-Dow Jones data, you can see a Dow Jones data.txt, and it has a URL. So this is the data set which I have, which has around 750 records, and it is in a CSV format. And if you click here, and you can see that this is the data set, wherein the first line is the quarter, the second column is the uh, stock symbol and the date, and the various other parameters. So in this project, I'm trying to use Scoop to get the data into HDFS and to import and export data from HDFS to MySQL. In the README file, you can find all the relevant steps which are required to set up a single node Hadoop on Mac, and to set up a Scoop and the MySQL connector. You can also get the Scoop import command, which I used to get the data from MySQL into HDFS. And then you can also see that I have created an external table in Hive on the data set. And you can also see that I have written as HiveQL, which will select the quarter and sum up all the volumes for each stock for each quarter, and it is grouped by the quarter and the stock. And the output of this HiveQL will be stored in local directory because of various issues which I found during executing the program. If you go to SQL, hivetable.sql, you can find the different commands which I use, different HiveQLs which I used to write that HiveQL for the problem statement. So we have to copy the output from the local directory into a Hadoop directory, and this is achieved by using a put command of Hadoop. Finally, the result is put back into MySQL using the scoop export command. And I have automated this project by writing a simple shell script, which is dezyre-dowjones.sh. And if you just give execute permission for this shell script and execute it, and if you have all the parameters necessary for MySQL and Hadoop have been set up, then you can just run this shell script and you can get the output. So on my Mac in the MySQL server, and you can see that I have a database called Dow Jones, and in the Dow Jones database I have two tables, which is Dow Jones and quarter stock volumes. If you see this table has this data set, which comes from the open data set URL which I showed before. So if you go to SQL table.sql, This is the command which I use to create the Dow Jones database, and this is the command which is MySQL command which I use to create the table, and this is the command which which is used to create the quarter stock volumes. This table will come into picture when I'm running the scoop export command. Once the database and the table are created, I use the load command to load the data from Dow Jones index.csv into the Dow Jones table. So we are going to use scoop import command to import the data from Dow Jones MySQL database table into HDFS. For that, first I'm going to set up the scoop path, and I'm going to issue the scoop import command to get my data into Hadoop. The scoop job will in turn spin a MapReduce program which will pull the data from MySQL and put the data into HDFS in the directory user Rashmi Dow Jones. So if you see under user Rashmi in HDFS, there is no Dow Jones directory, but after this scoop job finishes, we can see the directory in HDFS. As you see, the scoop job has been finished and it has retrieved 750 records. And let's see. So you can see that there's a directory called Dow Jones. And we have got two files. Content of the file. We have quarter 1 and 2, which means quarter 1 and quarter 2, and there is no data or records for quarter 3 and quarter 4. If you see the Hive, there is no table called Dow Jones. I again have a database called Dow Jones in Hive, and it's a simple command which is used to create a database, Dow Jones, and I don't have a table called Dow Jones, but I'm going to create an external table on top of this data set in Hive. So a MapReduce job has been created for executing this particular Hive DDL, which will create an external table. And it's going to load the data in this path. It's going to create an external table, and it's going to load the data in this path, which has the two files. So an external table has been created. If you see, there is an external table which has been created on this data, and the data is put into this external table. If you see this file HiveQL, I have created a database external table on this database, and I'm going to execute a select statement on this external table, Dow Jones, grouped by quarter and stock to get the sum of volumes, and the output of this select statement will be stored in this local directory user Rashmi output. If you see this directory, there's a file which is created, and it has the output of this select statement. Now we are going to put the contents of this file back into MySQL. For that, we are going to run a scoop export command, which will export. Oh, before that, one thing. Okay, so there is a bug in Hive, wherein the output of a select statement cannot be stored as an directory or file in HDFS. And that's the reason why I have to create a local directory and put the output of the select statement in that local directory. So if you see the README, I have explained you in detail why this additional step is required, wherein I have to put the output of the select statement from local directory into HDFS. Now we are going to execute the scoop file. If you have if you try to execute the scoop export command on the local on the data set which is stored in the local directory, and the scoop will throw in an error saying that the input the output is not present in the HDFS, and it cannot export the output to MySQL. Here scoop job is run, which in turn spins a MapReduce program, which will take the data from HDFS and put it into the table stock symbol, quarter stock symbol in MySQL. So it has exported 60 records in 25 seconds. Let's go and check the so this table quarter stock volume has the total volume of each stock for each quarter. If you see the stock A, the total volume is 1 million for the first quarter and 1.5 million for the second quarter. It's 1.5. Okay. So this is about the Dow Jones project. I have also tried to write a MapReduce program which mimics the HiQL query, which is to select, which is to sum the volume of each stock for each quarter, grouped by the quarter on the stock. I have also given the relevant steps or information to um, like compile and execute the MapReduce um, jar file. So we can also write a MapReduce program if you don't know Hive. And all the information is present in this document in GitHub. So yeah, that will be helpful for you. Thank you for watching my video.